up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen.
Or another device if you're at home.
Get yourself comfy, this could take a while. What a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly.
Well, hello there everyone and welcome to today's curriculum assembly, and it is going to be another brilliant one. Wait till you see today's expert. But before we get involved with all of that, let's get started in our usual ways. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, and together we will. And our Stukeley motto is, and our Stukeley curriculum is, and 4 words that make the magic happen. Brilliant. So here we are, another curriculum assembly. Now, it just so happened this week that I was having a good look through some of the workbooks that the teachers in Year 6 have created for the Year 6 children. And I was looking in particular, I think, at the one on inheritance and evolution. And as I was looking through that, I was really interested in one of the retrieval techniques that I think possibly Mrs. Campbell, I could be wrong, it could be Mrs. Peake, but either Mrs. Campbell or Mrs. Peake have put into that workbook at the start of 1 or 2 of the lessons. And it's something called a brain dump. Now, the name of that just appealed to me. So I thought today, I think we could begin our assembly with our very own brain dump. So what will happen is, teachers, is that you will need to pause the assembly when I say go, and probably on scraps of paper or on whiteboards. I would like all of you to have a go at, in 1 minute, seeing how many different areas of the curriculum you think we have covered so far with the experts that we've been able to meet. So which areas of the curriculum have we covered? And as a bonus, what has been some of the most useful advice that we have been given by our experts? So pens and paper, whiteboards, whatever, at the ready. 1 minute for a brain dump about the curriculum areas covered by our experts. Go. And finish. Right, are we ready? Okay, I wonder what you came up with. Now, I also did this, and I think we have so far covered English, MFL, modern foreign languages, or French, just in case you don't know, music, computing and technology, science, geography, and art. Now, I might have missed something off of there, and if you think that I have, next time you see me, you can let me know. I wonder then, for that bonus bit, what bit of advice by the experts that has kind of stayed with you. I think for me, it was really the part about practicing, keeping on going with things, that you do have to work at it and get better at things over time. So I think that's the thing that really stuck with me. Don't know what you came up with. Feel free to tell me next time you see me. So today's expert, I think, is an expert in more than one area of the curriculum, in my opinion. He has to be an expert in English primarily, because his job involves communicating, and it involves communicating in writing, but also communicating through speaking. Now, at school, I would think that lots of you, if we talk to you about English, you would say, yep, that's where we learn about reading and writing. But did you know that part of the English curriculum is also something called speaking and listening? I think I probably mentioned it before. Now, the thing is, I guess we don't always think about that as being part of English, because we take it for granted that we can all speak and listen perfectly well. But the simple fact of the matter is that speaking and communicating through speech effectively is a skill that we can learn and we can improve at. Similarly, listening is something that we can get better at too. We can learn how to listen carefully, engage our brains, and really think about what we're hearing and processing it. it's easy to kind of listen, what I call go in one ear and out the other. And I guess we all do that from time to time. But a lot harder to listen and really focus and think about and process what we are hearing. So they are skills. We can learn them and we can get better at them. The fact of the matter is that today's expert really needs both. He needs to be very effective at communicating through the written word, so through being a really good writer, but he also needs to be able to communicate effectively through the spoken word. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking any further, and I'm not going to suggest what the other curriculum area might be that he has expertise in my opinion. I wonder if any of you can think of it as you watch the VT, as you listen to the video. What do you think the other area of expertise could be and why? So that's what I will leave you with. So today's expert, take it away.
Hi folks, my name is Nick Callow. I'm talking to you from the centre of London, near Piccadilly Circus. This place is called Soho. I live with my family, my wife and daughter, in North London, in walking distance of the hallowed Arsenal football stadium. If you want to know what I was like as a child, you should probably ask everybody's favourite teacher, Mr. Matthew Smith, because I, despite the greying hair, was in the same class as Matthew Smith as a schoolboy, where we both loved playing sport, lots of football, lots of tennis, lots of cricket, and Mr. Smith was an excellent cricketer. 7 for 21, I think, were his best figures in bowling, and he was also a very skillful footballer and a very tricky tennis player too. I think tennis was probably my favourite sport to play, although I was always kicking a ball, and when I wasn't playing sport, I was reading about it and writing about it. My area of expertise, and it is very nice to be called an expert, I can assure you, is sports journalism. I'm a sports reporter. Now that means I attend sporting events, football matches, Premier League games, World Cups, European Championships, tennis tournaments, Wimbledon, the Olympic Games, Ryder Cup golf, you name it. I actually get paid to watch sport. And when I'm at sport, I write about it for the newspapers, magazines, the internet, and I also film videos and interviews with the sports stars, all the football managers, all the tennis players. It really is a great job if you like sport and you like writing. I think the greatest thing about being a sports journalist is you actually get to see all these sports events up close. You get the ringside seats, you get to see all of the things that we would like to see when we're sitting at home watching on TV, but you actually get to be there. You get to be inside the ropes. Let me just show you a little bit around the office here in my office. I'm going to stop this. So as I was saying, one of the greatest things about being a sports journalist is actually being up the events, meeting your heroes. There's a signed photo of the great Arsenal striker Thierry Henry. When we cover England games abroad, we usually play a football match against the local media from that country. This is going way back to 2006 when England played in Amsterdam, and I was out covering that game. We played a game against the Dutch media, and that shirt is signed by Ledley King, the old Tottenham captain who was playing for England at that time. What have we got here? Arsene Wenger, the greatest manager there's ever been, in my opinion. That was his last home match at Arsenal. And for those of us who covered the game and the club very closely and knew Arsene quite well, they presented us with these lovely individual programmes there with my name on. This is Jens Lehmann's gloves from the 2004 Arsenal Invincible season. And here at the company I work at, Haters TV, if you can see that, we have a very popular YouTube channel now with over 340,000 subscribers, where you can see all of the football Premier League press conferences going way back. This is Bob Wilson, who did the double for Arsenal in 1971 before he became a top TV reporter too. And this is the sort of camera that we film the press conferences on for Haters TV. You can see the logo there. These days you need to be a multimedia journalist to get on the game, because it's not just newspapers, websites, there's broadcast, there's social media. The biggest challenge of being a sports journalist? Well, keeping warm in the winter, keeping yourself well fed. One of the greatest bits of advice I was ever given was always to have a big, full breakfast before you go out, because you never know when you're going to eat again, because you could get sent on assignments to absolutely anywhere in the UK or around the world. I mean, take this summer, for example, when England were in the European Championships and reached the final. That was the same day as the Wimbledon men's singles final. So I had the arduous task of going to Wimbledon to see Novak Djokovic win the Wimbledon singles, and then I had to get from Wimbledon in the south of London over to West London to Wembley to see England hopefully beat Italy in the European Championship final, but they lost on penalties, and what should have been a great day was not as great as it might have been. So it's the challenges of being able to think on your feet, meet the deadline. And my advice to anyone who wants to be an expert, certainly in my field as a journalist, is to read. Read and write. Read and read and read as much about your favourite sports as you can. Read all sorts of different newspapers, different websites, different opinions, different styles of writing. I mean, what bigger challenge can it be just to read a book about sport or read a newspaper? Watch as much as you can and practice writing. Watch a game of football, watch a game of tennis on TV and write a report on it. Just keep practicing and practicing and practicing, and soon you'll get paid to go and watch the World Cup final or the Olympic Games in Brazil. It's not a bad job, really.
Oh, here we are back again. So that was today's expert. Now, being a really nosy person, my favourite part about that was having a good look around the office, particularly all the sports memorabilia that he had on show. Something tells me he might be an Arsenal fan. What do you reckon? Anyway, that was really interesting. I like the camera too, that he uses for the kind of vlogs and things that he does for YouTube. All of that really, really interesting. Now, I did ask you to have a think about what other area of the curriculum you think he might had to have been an expert in. Now, I was thinking that perhaps he is an expert in PE. Did you think that too? Not necessarily that he's an expert at playing a particular sport. He might be, I don't know. You'd have to ask Mr. Smith that, I suppose. But that he's got a really good understanding of how different sports are played. Now, I would have no clue about how to report on a football match or an F1 race or a tennis match. I enjoy watching some of those things some of the time, but I wouldn't really know what was really expert playing, so I couldn't really comment and write a report on it for sure. So something tells me he must be pretty expert in the PE field as well. Now, that was today's expert. Left us with some good advice. Reading widely. He said, don't just read all the same stuff. Don't just read books about sport if you're really into sport and would like to become a sports reporter like him. Don't just read the books. Read newspaper articles. Read blogs. Read anything you can find on the internet, as well as books and magazines and all the rest of it. Read widely. And read different kinds of things too. Really important to build up your capacity for reading, because as you read more, it will give you ideas and help shape your writing style. And he also said about practicing that too, isn't it? Developing writing in different styles and ways to try and find your own writing voice, how you like to write and communicate in that way. So some really good advice there again from our expert, and a big thank you to Nick for doing that for us. So here we go into another week, everyone. Another week to improve our expertise in lots of different things at school. Have a good one, everyone. Work hard, be kind. See you next time.
Thank you, Mrs. Stevens. What another great expert assembly. You know, I love assembly so much. I've come to another school just to do this. I'm currently in their kitchen. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, thank you, Mrs. Stevens. Great expert, one of Mr. Smith's friends. It's great to get people's friends in. Let's do some birthdays before we... it's quite a small kitchen. That's why I'm so close. Let's do birthdays before we finish with every day. Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday. Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday. Oh, come on! Knowledge, happy birthday, Caius in year 3. Happy birthday, Caius. You love talking to me when I come through class. I'm probably not going to see you in school today, so tomorrow let's have some birthday chat with each other. Yes, let's finish with everyday knowledge.
And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you.
Whoa, because this room is so small, I'm really close. Yes, I am. In which year did England win the Football World Cup? That's right, 1966. Where was the match played? That's right, it was at Wembley. And who did they play against? West Germany. What was the score? 4-2 to England. And who scored a hat-trick? Yes, Jeff Hurst did. In which year was the Great Fire of London? Correct, 1666. And which year was the Battle of Bannockburn? Absolutely right, 1314. In which year did Guy Fawkes come up with the Gunpowder Plot? 1605. Well done. In which year Charles Dickens born? 1812. Congratulations. Okay, how many metres in a kilometre? 1000. How many months in a year? 12. Congratulations. How many days in a year? 365. Leap year? 366. Gonna finish there. See you next time.